Hi everyone, this is Lady T with Lady T Speaks. We're bringing you the latest in hip hop, R&B, and entertainment news. It does sad me to have to share this information about Ahmaud Arbery, but it is necessary, and I am grateful for the opportunity to use this platform to talk about this injustice. I was searching for articles that would give the most information and speak to the heart of us concerning what happened to this young man while he was out jogging in February. And all across social media, there are videos that of the incident that happened, the altercation, the murder that took place in February. And a lot of celebrities have posted on their social media about justice for Ahmaud. And I agree. This is a senseless act that happened. It should have never taken place like it did. It is sad that it took 4 months almost for us to see this since it happened in February. I'm grateful that his parents were vigilant and it kept pressuring for this video to be seen and for all of us to know what happened to their son, Ahmad. So let me share with you what the New York Times article says. And I like this article because the person who wrote the article is an African American male himself. And so I think that he um, would be more objective. His name is Charles M. Blow, and he's an opinion columnist. So let me share what the article says. The title says this, which is so very true. The killing of Ahmaud Arbery, another black man falsely assumed to be a criminal, is dead. And it talks about the video. It was short but very shocking, and by now we've all seen it, and we all have formed an opinion as a result. Of course, I am outraged as a mother. I am outraged as an African American. I am very upset that once again this has happened to someone in the community. So he goes to say this: it takes from the perspective of a vehicle following a young man running at a jogger's pace. The jogger is 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. Ahmad approaches a pickup truck parked in the street. There are two white men, one outside the vehicle with a shotgun, 34-year-old Travis McMichael, and the other, his father, 64-year-old Gregory McMichael, standing aloft in the flatbed. The McMichaels had reportedly chased Ahmad, blocking his path at another location, at which point he had turned around and jogged another way to avoid them. In the video, when the men encountered each other, there's immediately an altercation. Ahmad and the younger McMichael Travis fight for control of the shotgun. Shots are fired. Ahmad tries to run away, but he is clearly wounded and his knees buckle. He collapsed to the ground. The video ends. After Ahmad fell, the younger McMichael rolls over the limp body to see if the male had a weapon. According to a police report, there was blood on McMichael's hands when the police arrived. Arbery died of his wounds. This is how the police report detailed the father's. Now, mind you, this is McMichael's account of what happened. And here's his explanation. McMichael stated he was in his front yard and saw the suspect from the break ins hauling ass down Satilla Drive toward Burford Drive. McMichael stated he then ran inside his house and called to Travis and said, Travis, the guy is running down the street. Let's go. McMichael stated he went to his bedroom and grabbed his 357 Magnum, and Travis grabbed his shotgun because they didn't know if the male was armed or not. Ahmad was not armed, and he was not the suspect in any break ins. He was a former high school football player who liked to stay active and was jogging in the small city of Brunswick, Glenn County, Georgia, near his home. Neither of the McMichaels were arrested or charged. From the time this happened in late February, they have had the luxury of sleeping in their own beds, free men, while Ahmaud's body is confined to a coffin deep in a grave at New Springfield Baptist Church in Alexander, Georgia. According to the New York Times, Gregory McMichael is a former Glenn County police officer and a former investigator with the local district attorney's office who had retired last May. The local prosecutor recused herself from the case because Gregory McMichael had worked in her office. The next prosecutor, a district attorney, also recused himself because his son worked for the district attorney for whom Gregory Michael had worked. But before the second prosecutor's recusal, he said in a letter obtained by the Times, it appears Travis McMichael, Greg McMichael, and Brian Williams were following in hot pursuit a burglary suspect with solid first-hand probable cause in their neighborhood and telling him to stop. It appears their intent was to stop and hold this criminal suspect until law enforcement arrived. Under Georgia law, this is perfectly legal. Yeah, I guess so if you word it the way that they worded and you only had their account of the story. So, of course, you would say that. So the third and current prosecutor on the case said Tuesday that the case should be heard by a grand jury. No, they should be in jail. Anybody else? Think about it. Had it been a black man, two of them on a truck with guns, and a white guy was jogging, young white boy was jogging, they'd be under the jail. Let's just make that clear. He cites the statute. A private person may arrest an offender if the offense is committed in his presence or within his immediate knowledge. What knowledge did they have? He was jogging, so what does that even mean? But there is a clear problem here, and I agree with the writer. Ahmaud had committed no offense. His only offense, the thing that drew suspicion, was that he was black and male and running through these white men's neighborhood. Absolutely true. The recused prosecutor's letter states, given the fact Ahmaud initiated the fight. At the point Ahmaud grabbed a shotgun, under Georgia law, McMichael was allowed to use deadly force to protect himself. Are you serious? You have got to be kidding me. Now, you heard the first part of the story that I shared with you. They said Ahmaud ran in a different direction to avoid them. So it sounds like they were in pursuit of him, and he was trying to get out of harm's way. That's what it sounds like to me. So the article goes on to say the similarities here to Trayvon Martin's case are uncanny. These men stalked Ahmaud, projecting onto him a criminality of which he was not guilty. Then used self-defense as justification to gun him down in an altercation that they provoked. Ahmaud was killed 8 years to the month after Martin was killed just about 3 hours north. The Black Lives Matter movement that peaked a few years ago focused activism and protests largely around police killings of black people. But the moment was born of another phenomenon, one present in the Martin case and again here, anti-black vigilantism. This form of anti-blackness marks black masculinity as menacing, and state laws protect the vigilantes' right to involve their weapons and their power to end lives. In this case, I don't even know how they called them vigilantes. That word means something entirely different to me, but I digress. The most infuriating part of most of the cases in which unarmed black men are killed, either by police or quote unquote vigilantes, is the lack of arrests, prosecution, or conviction. It is not any suggestion that the killers were right, because they weren't morally, but rather that in most cases it could be reasonably argued that the killings were legal. As has too often been the case in this country, the law works to Black people's detriment and sometimes their demise. Slavery was legal, the Black codes were legal, sundown towns were legal, sharecropping was legal, Jim Crow was legal, racial covenants were legal, mass incarceration is legal. Chasing a Black man or boy with your gun because you suspect him a criminal is legal. Unfortunately, using lethal force as an act of self defense in a physical dispute that you provoked McMichaels and could easily have avoided is often legal. And I agree, totally. They had no right to do what they did. Had no right. None whatsoever. Neither one of them were police officers. Neither one of them saw a crime being committed. So, what are these people saying? It is men like these, with hot heads and cold steel, these with yearnings of heroism, the quote unquote vigilantes who mask vengeance as valor, who cross their social anxiety with racial anxiety, and the two spark like battery cables. Couldn't have said it better myself. Ahmaud was enjoying a nice run on a beautiful day when he began to be stalked by armed men. Let's keep in mind, Ahmaud did not have a weapon, and there was no way that they could say they saw him rob anybody's house. Period. What must that have felt like, the writer says, for Ahmaud? What must he have felt when he approached the truck and saw that one of the stalkers was brandishing a shotgun? What must he have thought when he fought for the gun? What must he have thought when he took the first bullet or the second? What must he have thought as he collapsed to the ground and could feel the life leaving his body? Ahmaud Arbery was a human being, a person, a man with a family and a future who loved and was loved. The McMichaels took all of that away on a glorious Sunday afternoon in February. Who knows what Arbery could have become? He was young, his life a buffet of possibilities. Friday would have been his 26th birthday. Let's get justice for Ahmaud Arbery. I pray that his family can make it through this horrific situation and that most of all, they can get justice. I pray that these men are arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because clearly they had no right to brandish guns, no right to chase this young man down, no right to take the law in their own hands, no right to do that. But this is normal now. It's normal in our country. It's almost as if it's acceptable, and it shouldn't be. More than talk about it, we should be about doing something. I'm sharing this with you in hopes that you will, on your platform, talk about it, share it with others, let them know we want justice for Ahmaud Arbery. All right, this is Lady T Speaks. Talk to you all soon.